Hello everybody and welcome back. We're in the midst of it, a 3-game week this week. So if you are here for the review show, it happened yesterday. So we are here today for the Championship Preview show. We're live on YouTube. Make yourself known in the feed. We should also be live on Twitter up there. If you want to get involved in the comments on Twitter, get across to YouTube and you can get involved there. I cannot read two screens at once. So it's game week number 10, and it's one of these. It's the legendary 3-game week, what the Championship is kind of famed for, the really, really tricky part where teams are going often 2 away games within the 3-game week as well. First place 4th this week, second place 6th, and there is a prize bottom of the table clash as well. We'll look at all the games. Help me out if you're in the feed. Help me out with the predictions. Let's just move you across like that. A little bit like that. Right, Leeds v West Brom. And we're not doing this one first because Leeds are top of the league. We're doing this one first because West Brom have gone top of the league. 19 points from 9 games. 3 wins in the last 4 and unbeaten all season now, West Brom. Bilic went with Dean Garner, Pereira, Phillips off Austin. Everything he's doing seems to be working. It's a 3-game week, so he may freshen things up for this one at Leeds, or he may just go all out with what he considers his strongest team. Zahor and Kravinovic would be the most likely there. Gibbs is ready to go at left back if he doesn't want Nathan Ferguson having to go to Elland Road at his young tender age. But Higazi may be in the squad soon too. Ferguson seems to be doing fine, so whether he uses him or not, who knows. Leeds down to 4th now, 17 points from 9, but only 4 points in the last 4 games. So it's a slowdown, it's a bit of a drop-off for Leeds. Apparently, Adam Forshaw, who got back in for the Charlton game, is not going to be around this weekend. Hernandez wasn't around either on Saturday. Don't know whether we're going to see either of them. So a possibly weakened midfield here. Costa, Shackleton, Klitsch, Harrison maybe, Tyler Roberts may get in there. Who knows? I'm sure Bielsa will probably tell us in a press conference tomorrow at some point, unless he's done it already. This is going to be a tough one. If you're Slaven Bilic on this one, you'd take a draw all day, wouldn't you? I think possibly if Hernandez isn't there, Forshaw's not there, and they're a little bit weakened like that, I think it might end up being a draw, actually. West Brom have been behind a lot and then kind of forced their way back into games. So I will sit on the fence for this one and call this a draw. Let's go for West Brom to stay unbeaten and to draw away at Leeds. Leeds not going back to the top this midweek. Next one, Charlton versus Swansea. Swansea still up there in second. They're 18 points from 9, but only 2 points from their last 3 games. So like Leeds, a slowdown for Swansea. Bidwell suspended. Steve Cooper says otherwise, a few bumps and bruises. But the spine of this team is kind of clear now, isn't it? Van der Horn, Fulton and Grimes. Selena's always there in the 10 position. Baston always up front. So Swansea are off to Charlton. Charlton's second home game in a few days. I was there at the weekend. They were very good against Leeds. They pressed very well. They're very good without the ball. And when Leeds had their possession, they managed to get back in, get the low block there. Pratley sat in front the whole time. A good defensive team. So you would imagine exactly the same strategy here against Swansea. Charlton 6th, 17 points from 9. 3 wins in the last 5, 2 defeats in there as well. But I was pretty impressed with them. They didn't miss Lyle Taylor too much, although I guess their goal was a bit lucky. Maybe they would have had a few more chances up top there. It's a difficult one for Swansea because they'll get pressed all over. But Swansea are good in possession, aren't they? I'm going to sit on the fence and go for another draw. Goodness me, I'm being boring today. Question in the feed there, did my missus enjoy Westfield? Of course she did. My wallet didn't enjoy her 2 hours in the cocktail bar. No, I've gone for 2 draws so far. Let's go on to Blackburn versus Forest. Forest are up to 3rd now and in very, very nice form. 18 points from 9 is 2 points per game. And if you shave off that first game Lamouche's first game where they played the now league leaders West Brom, looking good. Craig says Forest are only going to get better. Accumulating points, not playing brilliantly each week is a good sign. We'll be sure if Graben gets injured. Yeah, Rafa Mir is back now. He's the backup to Graben, but Graben's fine, so let's talk about that. Someone who's not fine is Michael Dawson. He's got a calf injury. Cameron Rodriguez came on for him at Stoke, so you would assume he goes in and starts there. Dawson may not be the player he was 10 years ago, but for the presence, for knowledge. Steve says Pablo is out of the Leeds side tomorrow, so that is confirmed. Anyway, back to Forest. Otherwise, very settled. Really like the look of Cash and Lolly down the right-hand side. They really tore Stoke a new one, didn't they? So Forest looking very, very good. Blackburn 11th, 13 points from 9. Evans, Rothwell, Adarabio, Samuel, all potentially available. Don't know how many of those will actually get in. This is one of those where the Championship will do you, won't you? It's like Blackburn lost at home to Luton at the weekend. Forest are on really good form. So it all says that Forest will go there and win by 1 goal. And then the Championship just throws its normal curveball at you and Blackburn win. On form, you'd expect Forest to do it. It's an away game though. I suspect Lamouche's fairly cautious. He'd be happy if they were drawing this one 20 minutes to go. I assume they're back at home on Saturday. I have the laptop in front of me. Yeah, they've got Brentford at home. So I think it might be I know I've gone for another draw. This is ridiculous. Probably none of these games will end in draws. Let's go for a draw and assume that Forest will target the home game against Brentford. And if they take 4 from these 2 games, then they'll still be on the 2 points per game. And I'm sure Mr. Lamouche and all the Forest fans will be very happy. That's 3 draws. That's ridiculous. Right, I'm going to go for a decisive result in Borough versus Preston. Preston are 5th in nice form, 17 from 9. 4 wins in the last 6, unbeaten 2. They're fairly clean bill of health. Alex Neil's got some options up top. Maguire and Johnson contributing well. I'd imagine those 2 will start, but we will see. Abel says Neil will mix it up again. 2 to 3 changes. I kind of agree with them. Possibly up top and left wing. Maybe Abel, who's clearly a Preston fan, can come in and help me out with that one. Borough 19th, 9 points from 9. Back-to-back defeats for Jonathan Woodgate there. His stead is closing in, but not ready. The 2 fullbacks, Coulson and Friend, are still not around. Dykesdale and Bowler will continue in those positions. So you pretty much expect what the midfield 3 is going to be and what the front 3 is going to be. And beings, I've been so boring in my predictions. Let's go all in on Preston here. They'll stick Barkhausen up front and Bowden will probably play on the left wing or something. Like Abel said in the chat, change up a couple of players and get the win. They'll probably concede Preston, but let's go for an away win here. So that breaks my streak of boring draws that I have predicted. Moving on, next one is Hull versus Wednesday. Wednesday 7th, 16 from 9, 7 points in 3 games under Gary Monk thus far. Hutchinson doubtful. Lees could come back. Fletcher and Newey, who were up front last time. Bannon in really nice form. When's he ever not? Hull 15th, 10 from 9. How's Hull's last few games? Let's have a look down there. Oh, win, loss, win. Bit inconsistent. Then Hull, all depends on Mr. Bowen and Mr. Grzycki, doesn't it? Grzycki in brilliant form, like scoring a free kick every single game, outstanding. Pennington and Kingsley could come in and help out the back. Elder and Terrell will not be there. Both teams are going to score in this one. Hull are not going to keep out new Birmingham-style direct Gary Monk, are they? Do you know what? Let's go for another away win. Let's assume one of Bowen or Grzycki will score, but they won't be able to cope with crosses into the box and Bannon set plays, and Wednesday will score a couple and keep up their good form. And by my maths, that probably would put Wednesday in the top 6. Yeah, confirmed. Let's go for another away win there. I haven't gone for a single home win. Goodness me, what a renegade I am. Moving on to the next one, Brentford versus Bristol City. Good win for Brentford at the weekend. 3-3 draw for Bristol City up at Preston, wasn't it? Bristol City 8th, 16 from 9. 3 draws and a win in the last 4, so too many draws for Lee Johnson. Adam Nagy will be back on Saturday, not today. And Thomas Callas, they've been very cautious with him. He's not going to be back until after the international break. So I'd expect the back 3 to be the same for Bristol City. Central midfield could look similar. I would expect O'Dowda and Jeju would be most likely to come in. We will see. Brentford 14th, 11 from 9. First win in 3 yesterday. He's gone back to 4-3-3 now, having been 3 at the back for a while. Jacob says Streaky Lee with another draw. There we go. Very good. So he's going to go on a draw streak now because he's Streaky Lee. We had that wonderful stat. Ollie Watkins has scored 7 out of 8 goals for Brentford. Bristol City are being quite reliable. Brentford are notoriously unreliable. Oh my God, I can't call this one. I don't know why, but I'm going for a home win for no particular reason. Let's assume the Brentford possession machine actually works and all the shots on target actually get them the win. I'm pulling that out of the air just because I haven't gone for a home win yet. Would not be surprised with any outcome there, home, away, or draw. John says Brentford looked okay yesterday. Barnsley simply aren't good enough. Abel said Bristol City played well at Deepdale. Oh God, am I having to... No, I've got to go with my prediction, but 2 bits of information that probably say that it's not going to come true already. Look, I'm doubting myself already. Let's move on to Cardiff versus QPR. Long, horrible journey down to Wales for QPR. They're in 9th place, 16 points from 9. Their 4-game winning streak ended at home to West Brom on Saturday. Barbe suspended. You would assume Warburton is stuck on this 3-5-2, so that will be the only change there. Warnock will presumably have a plan for Eze and Chair and quieting down Hugill and Wells up front. Cardiff 12th, 13 from 9. 4 draws, 2 wins in the last 6. Unbeaten. I guess they're still unbeaten at home as well, aren't they? Glatzel's now got 2 in 2. I was worried about him. He started to score. He missed the Middlesbrough game, so 2 in 2 games for him. Danny Ward from nowhere off the bench to score at Hull. Smithies continuing over Etheridge, who's now fit. We're still waiting for Bamba Pack back in now, presumably with Rolls, Bakuna, that group in midfield. I can't see QPR going away to Cardiff on a midweek with Warnock with a few players coming back and getting the win. I think they might be able to score, but I don't think they're going to be strong enough at the back to shut out Cardiff for the whole 90 minutes. I don't think Cardiff will score more than 1, won't they? Let's go for a Cardiff home win over QPR. Reading versus Fulham tomorrow. I will be at this game. Check out my review if you're a Reading fan, a Fulham fan, or just a fan of the channel. Fulham in 10th, 15 from 9. By the way, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so the review might be quite late, sort of 10:30 sort of time, but you can watch it the next day, can't you? First win in 4 last time out for Fulham. They had not been in good form, dropping into the... Well, they're just in the bottom half, I think. Probably didn't make us the play on Friday, but there you go. And that Friday means extra days rest. They beat Wigan, didn't they? No new injury worries. Surely, if you're paying Harry Arter a load of money to have him on loan, he's going to come back into the team. Sat out the last 2 since his suspension for the red card at Cardiff. Reading 20th, 8 from 9. 3 defeats and a draw in the last 4. Blackett's doubtful at the back. John asks, why are Reading midweek home games away at 8? They are, aren't they? Is it because the M4's so crap and they give people extra time to get there? But then surely all central London games would be at about 9:30 in that case, wouldn't they? I don't know is the answer. Any Reading fans, tell us why Reading midweek games are always at 8. They do seem to be, don't they? I bet it's a train thing or something weird. Where are we looking? Miazga could return. Lucas João doubtful with an ankle problem, although he hadn't been starting. Anyway, I've got to go for an away win here. Let's go for a Fulham win. Fulham going to keep the ball, probably not score too many goals, but break through in the second half. Just be too strong for Reading, who disappointed me after I got all excited after their really good little 3-game run at the start of August. So let's go for a Fulham away win there. Wigan versus Birmingham is the next one. Birmingham 13th from 9. Back-to-back defeats, though, after they'd had back-to-back wins. McEachran has now signed, but I believe he and Jonathan Grounds, who's coming back, played under 23s today, so you're not going to see McEachran tomorrow. Bellingham got a rest on Saturday. Young Bellingham, maybe he could come back in. Otherwise, they look fairly close to the strongest 11, what they put out at Derby, so I shouldn't foresee too many changes. John says, play like we did at Derby, we'll win. Yeah, a couple of a missed penalty and mistakes for the goals against there. Wigan 21st, 8 points from 9. Little 3-game undefeated run, but they lost at Fulham on Friday. Wigan generally good at home, generally bad away. Windhouse, Pilkington, Roberts all coming back. Maybe one of those makes the bench. No Jacobs. Massey could likely return as well. Wigan don't lose too many at home. Blues are inconsistent, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I might sit on the fence and say another scoring draw here. If all these draws come in, someone have a bet on this, you'll win an absolute fortune if all these draws come in. So let's go for a draw there, which is not much help to Wigan, but I'm sure Blues would take that. Barnsley versus Derby. Derby 15th. 11 from 9. First win in 8 against Birmingham on Saturday. Bogle is back. Will he be ready to start? Quite possibly, if he was ready for the bench on Saturday. Davis in for Keogh. He'll likely continue. And the report is Keogh not back until December 2020 now. God, really going to be out of the firing line for a long while. Will he start Chris Martin again? Coco, I suspect he will, won't he? 2 goals and an assist since he returned from the wilderness and a million loan deals away from Derby. But he's doing well. Jaggy Babb says was the same against Leeds. Derby looking pretty poor. Not as poor, it has to be said, as Barnsley, who are 22nd. 5 from 9, 3 defeats in a row, 5 defeats in 6. Barnsley, they sold the centre-halves, didn't they? They brought in 12 players, not a lot of championship experience. They sold their top scorer as well. I know Luton sold their fullbacks, but that looks like the business is what's slowing them down. And I have to say, however lucky the feed seems to think Derby was at the weekend, I'm going to go for Derby again in this one. I think they'll have too much star power on the pitch for Barnsley. I'm going to go for an away win here. Derby to keep up, Barnsley to keep up their losing streak. John says Barnsley have no chance, defence and attack nowhere near good enough for this level. His words, not mine, Barnsley fans, before you get me in the comments. Luton versus Millwall on Wednesday night. I shall also be at that one. I'll stay safe. Luton 17th, 10 from 9, 3 wins in the last 5, and I'm looking forward to seeing Izzy Brown. He looks like he's fit. He looked really good setting up those 2 goals for Luton. He'll be a big fish in a small pond there, which he'll like. No offence to Luton, he'll be the best player there if he plays anywhere near his potential. And means you've already got people like Collins and Cornick already there scoring goals up the top. He's just got to provide them, and they're already doing the business. So he could be the man that makes a difference for Luton this season. Millwall 18th, 10 from 9, no wins in 6. McCarthy, bruised toe. He's likely to be back. But Varson illness, Harris said he's not good today. So McCarthy more likely, which means you probably see Smith up top. Let's hope Neil Harris just goes for his normal 4-4-1-1 or 4-4-2. Bap says Izzy can't be any good. Marcello wouldn't play him. He was injured all season, wasn't he? at Leeds. Virtually only played 20 minutes. I suppose he didn't play in the running when he wasn't fit. Difficult one, really difficult. If it does happen and Luton win, I think Millwall fans are quite close to turning on Harris if they haven't already. I can see Millwall scraping like a late draw or something this way, and they're just such a threat from set plays. You can see them scoring in every game, can't you? Let's go for another draw here. And finally, the one we're all looking forward to, the mother of bottom of the table clashes. It's Stoke versus Huddersfield, the two massively underperforming teams, both in receipt of parachute payments. Appalling stuff, absolutely appalling. Huddersfield 23rd, 2 points from 9, 1 point from the last 6. Stoke 24th, 2 points from 9, 1 point from the last 6. Quaynor is out. Kungolo and Pritchard are possibles. Maybe they come back in. I think Simpson played right back anyway, didn't he? And they put, John says it's possible for both to lose. White Hart Dane says if Stoke lose against Huddersfield, that's it for Jones. Jacob says 0-0, both teams too scared. And Dye doubtful for Stoke. Shawcross with a broken leg. This is such a weird one. You can see Huddersfield, because they've got the new manager, getting the win and having the kind of new manager bounce type thing, even though they haven't won yet. But you can also see that Stoke actually do quite a lot of stuff right and then just completely capitulate every game, don't they? I'm going to go for a Stoke win, amazingly, in this one, because I think Huddersfield are bad enough to not take advantage and make Stoke fall apart. That said, if Huddersfield score at any point, Stoke will collapse. So this is all predicated on Huddersfield not scoring. But let's go for a Stoke home win and back them for probably the first time this season. Baps McGinty says Stoke didn't look that bad against Forest. They didn't, and then they concede a goal, and then you look up on the thing and they've conceded 3. So read that Moyes may get a chance at Stoke. Former great Preston manager says. Hey, but right, if anyone's got any questions, ask them in the feed here. I can glance over at Twitter if anyone's up there. Jaggy Bav says, don't know what's gone wrong there. It's weird sometimes when the confidence goes with these teams and they're just completely... I mean, look at my team, Ipswich. They started losing and they just kept losing for the whole season. It's taken a relegation and for the same players to go down a level to even start winning again. So, John says, looked okay against us, but fell apart as soon as the goal went in. Bap says, who's going to score for Leeds? Well, hopefully Bamford for your sake, because that would be 6 without a goal if he doesn't. And I think Bielsa was quite quick to take him off after his petulant little foul on Saturday. So very blunt up front since Swansea. We're talking Leeds here. Look out, as I said, for my review of Fulham at Reading tomorrow. Luton versus Millwall on Wednesday. So this week's a crazy one. We'll do the review of the midweek games on Thursday, where we normally do the preview, and we will do the preview on Friday, where we normally do it on Thursday. So there'll be content every day, so well worth hitting that subscribe button. Jaggy asked, with Ipswich in the Championship, do you have a Championship team, or am I completely neutral? I tried my best to be completely neutral, even when Ipswich were there. But no, I don't have a favourite. Obviously, I have favourites. So if I'm watching Blackburn and I see Tony Mowbray, who used to play for Ipswich, I don't just follow the good football. There we go. Am I at Birmingham Borough on Friday? Not planning to be, but stranger things have happened. So look, hit subscribe on YouTube and ring the bell for notifications. Who did I tip for West Brom and Leeds? Sat on the fence, draw. Most underrated team in the Championship. Underrated. Probably Bristol City. They're actually quite good, but they do such silly things. Charlton aren't really underrated anymore. Everyone knows that they're quite good. Preston. Steve says, I'm a secret Leeds fan. Well, I'd rather be that than accused of cursing them every week. So, Steve, I will take that. Leeds were a very good story. Yeah, a few people saying Preston, loads of Preston there, so we'll take that. Although I rate Preston, it's not easy for teams to go away there particularly and win, isn't it? Luton underrated. yeah, we'll see how they go, particularly away from home. They've got 2 away wins already, though, haven't they? Any more questions, get them in. I'll quickly plug my Patreon. This will always be free. But I've set up a Patreon there, so help me out if you enjoy the content there. Right, I will bid you all farewell. Tune in tomorrow night. It will be for the Fulham game at Reading. And then throughout the week, there'll be match experience, all sorts of stuff. Might even end up at Birmingham on Friday. We will see what happens. Thank you, everybody, for watching as usual. Thank you for your help and your information on the predictions. And I will see you all very soon. I will stop the Twitter feed. I'll try and stop the broadcast on Twitter. There we go. And I will bid you all farewell here on YouTube. Thank you very much. Over and out.